Hi everybody, in this tutorial I'm going to go ahead and move on and talk about how to use the Rubric tool in the Google Classroom. Let's jump into it. Okay, so like I said, today we are talking about how to use rubrics, but more specifically the Rubric tool that you can now find in the Google Classroom. So as far as showing you how to do this, this is what I'm going to do. First thing, we'll go ahead and jump into a new, fresh assignment, and we'll just go into the Rubric tool and talk about the different parts of that and how to actually construct a rubric. Now, after that, I went ahead and just put together a standard, I think it's a rubric for an essay, a standard rubric that I'll show you. I'll push it to a student. I will go into that student view so you can see what the student sees, and then, of course, push it back to the teacher so you can see what it looks like when you're actually using the rubric to grade. All right. So hopefully this might be a little bit longer, but it'll give you the full picture as far as how to actually use the tool and see how it works. All right. So let me go ahead and jump into it. So first thing, I'm going to go ahead and create an assignment, the create button, and click on assignment. All right. Now, the rubric option where you're going to see that is always in the bottom right hand corner of the right hand side. Now, to actually start using that, we have to have a title for our assignment. So I'll just say work. All right. Give it a second. And there we go. We now have the option to create a rubric. Now, as soon as you click this, you're going to have a few options right here to create a new rubric to reuse a rubric, which is really cool. So if you've created one before in the Google Classroom, you can pull that back up, or you can import one from Sheets. All right. So for this, let's go ahead and create a rubric so I can walk you through how this tool actually works. All right. Okay, so let me go ahead and start top to bottom and we'll piece this together. So the rubric's going to go ahead and attach to the name of your assignment. Work. All right. The next thing is going to ask you if you want to use the scoring from this rubric. So this is nice because I'm pretty sure that as soon as you actually grade this, it'll push that to the final grade, and then you can submit that back to the student. All right. So that I'm going to leave as it is. The next thing is, as far as the criterion, do you want that to be descending or ascending? I'm just going to leave that as descending just to keep it simple. All right. Okay. So now we get to actually building the rubric itself. Yeah. So pretty much this is how it's going to be laid out. Right here, if you can see my screen, hopefully you can, we have the criterion. So with this, it's going to go all the way across in this row right here. And then going up and down in columns will be your different levels. All right. So the main thing that is required is the actual criterion itself. So let's say this is a rubric for an essay. Maybe this will be the thesis or the introductory paragraph. All right. So I'll just put thesis. All right. So I have that. If I want to further explain this, I can, but this is not required. So I'm not going to worry about that. Okay. So now we get into the different levels. All right. So the main thing that is required, obviously, for it to push the grade, the final grade, is the point value. So for this one, I'm going to do this 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So I'm going to go ahead and bump this one to a 4. All right. And as far as the level, let's say that this is advanced. Oops. Let me try that again. And sorry, hard to type with a microphone in front of you. So that is advanced, and oops, that should be 4. All right. So once I have this, I can now provide a description for what advanced would look like for the student. All right. But I have a full rubric I'll show you later. I'm going to leave that blank because yeah, not too worried about that. All right, so once I have created this level, I can click the plus icon on the right-hand side and go ahead and create the next one. So I'll do this one 3 points. I'm just gonna leave this blank. I think you get the point. 3 points. I'll make this one 2 points, 1 point. And then I tend to put the 0 just in case they just don't do it for some reason. All right. So yeah, so now I have my criterion right here. I have all my different levels. I'm good to go. Now, the next thing is obviously you're probably going to have more criteria for this actual assignment. So how can you build on that? You essentially have two options. Option number one is you can add more criterion right here at the bottom. But what I like to do, just because once I've kind of set the points and the levels, I kind of use them for all of the different criterion. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that as it is. I'm going to duplicate this. All right. So I'm going to take what I already have. I'm going to click these three dots right over here and duplicate. All right. So now that criterion, I have it down here, and all I have to do is just change the information down here. All right. So for whatever this would be, maybe support or evidence for their essay, and then just go in and change the information in here. All right. But really, as far as putting together this rubric, that is it. And if you just take those steps, then you will have a final rubric. All right. Okay, so what I'm going to do now that I've shown you how to kind of just put together a basic rubric, I'm going to show you a complete rubric and show you the process from going from teacher to student back to the teacher. So I'm going to close out of this. Yeah, just going to disregard that. Let's go ahead, disregard this draft. All right, so let me use this one right here. So for this example, I went ahead and create a rubric, which you can see right here. All right, so let me go ahead and click this. Yeah, and I just used the same process, the same tool to put this together. And like I said, this is just an old rubric I had from, an essay writing assignment. So I have my, let's see, I think 4 levels, different criterion. And then as far as levels, advanced proficient, partially proficient, non-proficient, and you didn't do it, right? All right, so I can see this, and also the students can see this rubric for this assignment. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. So like I said, I already put this together on the teacher side. So I'm gonna go ahead and go on the student side so you can see what they see. All right, so let's go ahead and jump over there. Okay, so here is the student side and what they will see for this assignment. So if I click on example assignment, first off, they can see the same rubric right there in their preview. All right, so I can click that and they have the same thing that you have, and they can see exactly what they need to do. Now, if you close this, or if they close this, they can go into view assignment and they have the same thing. And really cool thing about this, they obviously have the complete point value, but yeah, they can open up these different parts of your rubric once again to see exactly what they are doing. It makes it really easy. All right. So they have this right here. Now, let me go ahead and do this just to push forward. I'm going to go ahead and turn in this assignment so you can see what this rubric looks like on the teacher side in the grading screen. All right. So, okay. So the student has seen their rubric. They wrote an amazing essay, I'm sure. So let's go ahead and turn this in. Great. And move back to the teacher side. Okay. Pull that over there. All right. And let me go ahead and refresh this, make sure you're up to date. Okay. So I can now see eventually, I can now see that I have one assignment that is turned in. So as a teacher, all I have to do, either I can click on this right here or just click on view assignment, and I can go in and start grading. Okay. So I'm going to click on the individual that turned it in. Now, once again, I can see the rubric right there that goes along with the assignment. But here's the really cool part when it comes to grading. So if I click on the assignment, it's going to take me to the grading screen. And what I'm going to see on the right-hand side, in addition to where I would put the final grade, and of course, the private comments like we've talked about in previous tutorials, I now have the rubric. And nice thing about this is they condense it for you so it's not taking up too much space. So while I'm grading this amazing essay in front of me, I can easily just say, all right, so as far as the introduction, yeah, 3, that would be proficient. Justification, oh man, they had amazing justifications. Yeah, and I can just click on the space. Now, if I needed to see the rubric, all you have to do is drop down right there to see the actual writing itself. But being that I typically write these, I know what's there. All right. And one more thing I want to point out while I have this open. Let's say you want to, for some reason, clear this. Let's say you don't want to have any of these checked. What you can do is you can click on this again, go to the bottom of that criteria and hit clear, and it will clear that one for you. All right. But yeah, so like I said, cool thing about this is you can go through and just, all right, click through your rubric and it will plug in that grade for you and you're done. All right. Okay. So hopefully not too long, but I wanted to give you the full picture. So that is the basics as far as how to start to put together a rubric, how it will save that for you, and you can reuse it in the Google Classroom. How, of course, the student can see that, and then you can use that that rubric to speed up the process as far as grading on your side. That's rubrics in the Google Classroom.